Thank you for attending. I know that you have questions pertaining to the new changes in our Iowa law. So in 2012 and 13, the Legislative Committee was committed to looking at areas that might be considered weak in Chapter 480 of our Iowa Code. And as you can see, we came up with some candidate items here. White lining, life of a ticket, call center processing of the 48-hour timeline, and electronic positive response. Beginning July 1st of this year, there will now be a life of a ticket. In Iowa, there was never a defined timeline for life of a ticket. And nationally, statistics show that life of a ticket is safer and prevents damage better. So now it's going to be 20 calendar days from the time the notice is made by you, the excavators, to the Iowa One Call Notification Center. Previously, when you called in, your ticket was processed immediately and the timeline began to commence immediately, uninterrupted, except for Saturdays, Sundays, and legal holidays, but it would continue through the night. It was processed at the time of the call. The new law taking effect on July 1st will be such that if you call in after 5 p.m., your notification will then be processed as if called in at 8 a.m. the next business day. White lining is a tool. It's a communications tool. Nationally, statistics show that white lining prevents damage to the infrastructure, which can help you with your liability and first and foremost with your safety. In order for the excavator to identify the area of proposed excavation, they will use white paint, white flags, white stakes, or a combination thereof, with the exception if any of these following apply. White lining would not be required if at the time you make the notice to the notification center, the precise location, direction, size, and length of the proposed area of excavation can be clearly and adequately defined. We do currently have in place means of electronic white lining. We are going to enhance that further. So one of the new laws, it says this: if you use the electronic means of white lining, and the technology today is such that you can go on and bring up like a Google map and do a polygon around it. If you can use that and clearly and adequately define the area of proposed excavation, the white lining would not be required. And the third bullet is if it can be shown that physical pre-marking is impractical. The other is electronic positive response. Now what does that mean? That is a central database of the ticket status for all locating and marking. All tickets that are sent from Iowa One Call to owner-operators of underground facilities will be statused. Whether there's the marking, whether it wasn't marked, and a reason why, whether it was cleared because of no conflict, we'll have a central database, and here's how it'll work. The operator under the new law shall notify the Iowa One Call Notification Center via this electronic positive response of the status of their ticket after they get done doing the locating and marking, or once it's cleared. The call center then, Iowa One Call, under the new law, shall then notify the excavator of this status no later than the expiration of the 48-hour period. All locating and marking, if it's completed, if everyone on the notice from Iowa One Call has responded and either cleared the ticket or located and marked the ticket, if that's occurred and there's still time on the 48-hour clock, the excavation can begin. So that's new. It says in the code, you can dig prior to the expiration of the 48 hours, provided you are notified from the Iowa One Call Notification Center that all the locating and marking has been completed. And that'll be done through the electronic positive response system. The next rule, the law that will go into effect, is what we kind of call a required standby. And this has to do with high pressure natural gas transmission pipelines. So there'll be no excavation to occur within 25 feet of a high pressure natural gas transmission pipeline unless there is a representative of that underground facility, that natural gas transmission pipeline, present at the proposed area of excavation, unless otherwise agreed upon in writing. The representative has to show up. Okay, this is part of the law. Otherwise, excavation can begin. If the representative of the pipeline fails to be present at the time, then the excavation can take place, provided that the excavator notifies the underground facility pipeline owner that, hey, your representative did not show up. Excavation can then proceed as long as due care is taken to make sure you avoid damaging that underground infrastructure.